Hello, everybody. Welcome to UAP Pulse. We're going to talk about UAPs and related phenomena. My co host here is Howard Barenbaum. My name is Dave Siegel, and welcome. So, Howard, what have you got on your plate today? What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's great to be here. I have a few things. Well, one thing, I have so much to talk about. We just may have to make this into 2 or 3 episodes. What I wanted to say, I want to discuss Curt Jaimungal's latest Theories of Everything podcast, where he interviews Lue Elizondo for over an
Ah,
hour and a half.
oh,
It's a
great. I just finished reading Lou's book. We'll go into that a bit later, too.
Oh, great. That's really great. And I think you've seen this interview, and it's a really excellent interview and very revealing about Lou's experiences in his life before and after his disclosure and now up to his book.
Okay.
I want to talk about the orb claims in his home that his wife and kids also experienced. One point is, why didn't he photograph the orbs?
He
Um,
goes into that. Yeah.
Yes. And you've read the book. When he was talking to Curt, he said that they went through the walls and I think he had time to take his camera out. And
No.
Curt did ask that question, why not take pictures? And Lou said he didn't think of it. I guess in the moment you might be so shocked that you would forget your iPhone, but if it happened frequently and witnessed by his wife and kids, I would have recorded the event.
Well, it
Maybe,
didn't it didn't happen uh in a way that you could time it out. It doesn't happen like every half hour or something like that. It just happens when it happens.
because you read the book, it's probably that's the real reason he just didn't think of it and he was sort of shocked and has
Yeah.
nothing to do with his credibility. That's what I wanted to talk about. And then the second topic is, which I watched the hour and a half video of Weaponized number 57. Was that it?
Yes, the
With
podcast with Jeremy Corbell and George
George
uh,
Knapp. Yeah.
Knapp.
In the beginning, they were talking about Lou's book, and they were at chapter one, then at chapter two, and they were also excited that Lou had finally come out. And chapter two was about the Brazil UFO incident that the military in Brazil, what was the name of the city? Um,
Colares.
yes, it was in 1977, and it was amazing. The people in this small town were were attacked by these UAPs, and they were beamed. They sent laser beams down on them, and they were looks like they were taking their blood. So this is very shocking. And the head of the Brazil UAP uh, investigator was there talking to George and Jeremy.
All right, well, let's talk about Colares.
Okay.
Why don't you fill our audience in on the background and how that began?
It's a small town in Brazil, not very close to any of the bigger areas in Brazil, and population 2,000, I think. And they suddenly saw UFOs over the town, and the UFOs were a bunch of them were going after people in the street. They were following them. It seemed like they were using lasers from the ships and they were zapping these people. And maybe one person died, but this had been going on, I think, for a few days. And the military was there and they were recording it. They had to leave the town. They just left the town because these things weren't
Who
stopping.
left the town? The
The
military?
population, the people in the town, most of them just left because they were it's they talked about it. They were being lased through their houses. The beams were going through the house and hitting people in their face or their head or wherever. And later they went to the doctors, and they found out that these people that got hit by these laser beams, they were losing iron in their blood. So it's possible that these aliens or whoever they are,
We don't know that they were aliens, though.
non-human
Well,
intelligence flying
yeah,
these saucers were testing them and taking out their iron. Maybe they were experimenting or taking data, or maybe they were eating the blood. Reminds me of the cattle mutilations in Colorado. You're in Colorado, right?
yeah.
Um,
Uh, well, there was a number of cattle mutilations all over the country, but there were quite a few in Colorado.
that's where they found that the cattle were surgically
Right. Their internal organs had been surgically removed, their eyes had been removed, and without any blood spilling onto the ground or anything. Let's get back to Colares.
okay, yeah. So that's a good part of Jeremy and George's interview was talking about the Brazilian incident. And I don't know if you got that far into the interview, but the US government sent military people or men in black to Brazil and got all the videos. And George Knapp thinks the videos were sent to Las Vegas, where there was an ATIP office or one of the offices that were studying UFOs.
Well,
So
what year was this?
it was in 1977.
Okay, well, ATIP didn't exist then.
Well, right, but he thinks that the videos or the movies that were taken got into the U.S. Pentagon's hands, and now they may be in Las Vegas at the ATIP.
Okay, now they may be, not
Yeah,
back in
right,
1977.
right.
Okay.
So glad you cleared that up, but very interesting discussion. And I didn't know what Weaponized was going to be about. I didn't see a preview of it, but
Yeah.
they're always interesting to listen to.
Yeah, it's an interesting show. They always are interesting. Glad that they did it.
Did you want to discuss Lou's book, which you have been
Yeah,
reading?
yeah, we can that'll sort of dovetail nicely because Lou goes into quite a bit of detail about the Colares situation. It's a very good book, very interesting. Got a lot of detailed information. Probably not as much as some people would like, because Lou is still under, well, he has to obey the rules set down by the Pentagon, and he is obeying those rules. He does not want to lose his security clearance, and he hasn't lost his security clearance. I would highly recommend this book to anybody who's interested in this subject. Well, did you have something you wanted to ask
Yeah,
about
he
that?
really needs the book because now he's not working. Didn't you say,
Yeah.
isn't he living in a trailer with his wife and kids and he's
Yeah, he took a big financial hit by resigning from the Pentagon.
he needs the income from it and I hope I think he's going to be doing well because a lot of people are publicizing it. He's getting on a lot of interview shows and initially he was on CBS and it was like a 2-minute interview. They didn't really give him much time, but he said we are not alone, right? I think that's
Well,
what he
and
said.
he's dead serious about that. We are not alone.
Right.
And his book makes a very good case to believe that we are not alone and that the US government knows that.
Yeah, and it's half the Pentagon wants it kept secret. The other half wants it released, and they're infighting, right?
Yeah, there's
I'm not.
quite a bit of infighting.
Hmm.
I would say it's probably not half and half. I wish it was half and half. I think we'd have a much better chance of getting a significant amount of material released if it were half and half.
Mm.
Uh, I suspect that it is maybe maybe 15, 20% would like it, would like full disclosure, and the rest either think it's nonsense or they know it's not nonsense and they don't want it released anyway.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
But so much information has come out, so many whistleblowers that we're hearing the truth and we're just not getting it the official. I'm believing everything, even about abductions.
Really, why?
Um,
And I'm
because
not saying I disagree with you. I'm
no,
just you're making such a blanket statement. I'm curious to know why you're saying you believing everything.
well, in the past they were bizarre, but more and more people are well, for the one point is that in his interview, was it with Curt Jaimungal? Oh no, his interview with Russ Coulthart. He
Ross
showed
Coulthart, you mean?
I'm sure his interview with
Ross,
Ross Coulthart,
yeah.
right? Showed some something that they took out of a military personnel that was an implant, and it was in tissue, and that's what he talked about. Um, that when they tried to take the implant out, it moved. It got it. It tried to get away from the surgeons,
And that's
and
who's saying that? One of the surgeons?
Lue was talking about it
Lue
in his
Elizondo.
interview with Coulthart. Anyhow,
Oh,
I there's over the years the people have been talking about their abductions, and they just don't seem credible. But there's more and more videos that I've seen, and I've been watching Eyes on Cinema, which is a YouTube channel that has a lot of older videos about UFOs. And these people get on and they describe the situations where the UAP UFO is coming down at them, then they're missing time, and then sometimes they're finding implants in their bodies, and there's so many that that so many things on YouTube, especially from uh, Eyes on Cinema, that point to credibility. That's well, I don't know for sure, but
well, yeah, nobody, in that sense, nobody knows for sure, but things do point to a certain amount of credibility. And I agree with you on that.
well, with Lou showing, he showed a little video of the implant. I mean, and this is a military person, and he has proof that they removed it and there was some type of electronics in it. In this, I believe, at least this, and there are other people that have said they've been abducted and taken something
So,
out of their bodies. So who knows?
were they able to take the implant apart and
No,
determine
they didn't talk
how it
about that.
works?
No, they didn't talk about taking it apart. It was just showing the implant, showing the material that looked like flesh. I think they showed that it moved around. So maybe it was a video of the implant in the soldier's body. I don't remember where it was.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting.
Well, I think we're gonna have to hope for a disclosure soon.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody who tuned in. You're watching UAP Pulse. I'm Dave Siegel. This is Howard Barenbaum,
Yeah,
and we'll see
it's
you
me.
next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time.